the 2022 schedule. I gotta find Coach Reed.
Come on in.
All right. Well, the Chiefs' official schedule was announced last night, so let's take a deep dive into the schedule, look at some crazy facts about the level of difficulty it is, and give a prediction for the Chiefs' end-of-season record and much more. But first, how about those? What's up, guys? My name is Cole, and I do daily news about the Chiefs and the NFL overall. I literally have not missed a day since January 22nd when I started this channel. So, sub if you're new, hit that like button if the Chiefs are making the playoffs again this season, and let's get into this news. So, most of you already know this, but the NFL schedules were revealed for all to behold last night, and for the Chiefs, it is a bit of a doozy, to say the least. The Chiefs are slated to play in 5 primetime contests, including 3 of them at home in Arrowhead, and to kick things off, the first 3 of 4 games are on the road. We play in Arizona against the Cardinals, who will not have DeAndre Hopkins due to his 6-game suspension, I might add, but that's week 1. 3:25 p.m. and then we come home for a quick turnaround against the Chargers 4 days later for Thursday Night Football at 7:15 p.m. for week 2. Then the Chiefs get 10 days off, a mini bye if you will, and then head to Indy to face the Colts at noon. From there, week 5 is a big primetime game in Tampa against the Bucs on October 2nd at 7:20 p.m. This is a literal Super Bowl rematch from 2 years ago, ironically in the same exact location the Super Bowl was played, and I still have nightmares about that game if we're going to be honest. Then for week 5, we play Monday Night Football against the Raiders at home in Arrowhead, then stay at home for week 6 to face the Bills at 3:25 p.m. in what could be, if you base it off the last time these two teams played, the most exciting game of the season. Week 7, the Chiefs pack up and head to the West Coast to face the 49ers, who probably want to win this game pretty badly considering we beat them in the Super Bowl in 2019. We play them also at 3:25, and then week 8, the Chiefs get a goodbye. That is the earliest bye, by the way, of the Patrick Mahomes era, and I personally would have preferred the bye a bit later in the season for some needed rest, because if you look at the Chiefs' history of making playoffs and going deep into the playoffs, we are going to be playing a lot of weeks in a row here, and it's going to be a wild one at the end, we'll just say that. The back half of this season, on top of all that, is a brutal one in stretches, and we'll get into that in just a second. But following the bye, week 9, the Chiefs face the Titans in KC for Sunday Night Football, then stay home to face the Jaguars at noon the following week. Week 11 has the Chiefs traveling back to the West Coast to face the Chargers for another midday game, 3:25. Then we head back home to face the Rams at Arrowhead. Week 12 for, you guessed it, another 3:25 time game slot. And after the game against the Rams, the Chiefs find themselves on the road for 3 weeks straight. Week 13 is against the Bengals in Cincy at 3:25, and that's a much-needed win game for the Chiefs. Week 14 is in Mile High Stadium against the Broncos for Sunday Night Football, and then to a bit warmer climate, thankfully, against the Texans for a noon game. After all that traveling, the Chiefs are back at home for a couple weeks, where they will play the Seahawks in week 16 and the Broncos in week 17, both at Arrowhead, both at noon. In the last week of the regular season, we go to Vegas to play the Raiders either on January 7th or 8th, and the time is to be determined. All right, if y'all are still with me after all that, blink twice. So yeah, the Chiefs are in the maximum number of primetime games that can be initially scheduled, but I do believe that last year, the maximum number of primetime games has been increased to 7 per team per Pro Football Talk. So I think they can be scheduled for 5, but can be flexed for 2 more sometime during the season. That means that in between week 5 and week 18, any of those Sunday games could potentially be flexed to a Sunday Night Football game. And a couple things to note about the NFL flex scheduling rules. Flexible scheduling for Sunday night may be used twice between weeks 5 and 10, weeks 11 and 15, and week 17, and I also believe week 18 now. In flex scheduling weeks, the games listed for the Sunday night window are tentative and subject to change. Only Sunday afternoon games are eligible to move to Sunday night, in which the tentatively scheduled Sunday night game would move to a Sunday afternoon. So just keep that in mind as you look at the schedule, that we don't really know which of these games are going to get flexed, because there are a lot of bangers. We'll just put it that way. And now that we've looked at an overview of the schedule, let's talk details and some interesting stats and facts here for a minute. The Chiefs are the first team in NFL history to have their first 8 opponents have a winning record from the season prior. And this is not a drill. Last season, the Cardinals went 11-6, the Chargers went 9-8, the Colts also went 9-8, the Bucks were 13-4, the Raiders were 10-7, the Bills went 11-6, the 49ers were 10-7, and the Titans were 12-5. And as if that wasn't enough, of the 14 teams that we play, 8 of them made the playoffs, and 10 of them had winning records. Let me say that one more time. Of the 14 teams that we play this coming season, over half of them made the playoffs, 8, and 10 of them had winning records. The playoff teams from last year that are on our schedule are the Raiders, Bengals, Bills, Bucks, 49ers, Cardinals, Rams, and Titans. And again, 7 of these 8 playoff teams we play within the first 9 weeks of the season. Now, to calm things down a wee bit here, we do have 4 teams on the schedule that had losing records last year, and those teams were the Jaguars, who went 3-14, the Texans were 4-13, and both the Broncos and the Seahawks went 7-10. But obviously, now the Broncos have Russell Wilson, so I'm not sure both of those games are guaranteed wins any longer. Maybe because we do play them later on in the season, and Russell Wilson is known for having some bad stretches near the back half of the season, we could win them both, but you never really know. And then if we look at the back half of the season here for a moment, we play both Super Bowl teams back to back, and those games are literally sandwiched in between divisional games that are going to be very competitive. So in week 11, you have a shootout with the Chargers in LA, and then we're home to face the defending champions, the Rams, for week 12, then travel to Cincinnati to face the Bengals in week 13, and then we face the Broncos in Denver in week 14. So those 4 games could be the most difficult 4 games in a stretch. And if it wasn't for our bye week, I would also say the most 4 difficult games could also be considered the Raiders, Bills, 49ers, and then the Titans on the front half of the season. Those are 4 bangers right there. And you could even argue that the first 4 weeks are one of the toughest stretches. I mean, let's be honest here. The majority of our schedule is freaking nuts, man. Absolute almonds. And we can't forget to mention that the last 2 weeks of our schedule is against divisional opponents. You have week 17 against the Broncos and week 18 against the Raiders, games that could decide the fate of the AFC West. It's certainly going to possibly go right down to the wire this year. And since we've already determined that our schedule is absolutely insane, let's take a look at something together real quickly here. The graphic you see right now on the screen is the 2022 NFL strength of schedule based on Vegas forecasted win totals. And the reason I want you to see this is because using the 2022 Vegas win totals is, quote, so much better than so many widely used metrics that use the previous season's record. Because using the previous season record doesn't factor in things like the Broncos trading to get Russell Wilson, the Raiders trading to get Devontae Adams, the Chargers getting J.C. Jackson, Khalil Mack, and the draft and all that good stuff. But the Vegas win totals, I believe, do factor in all of that. So based on all of that, the Chiefs by far have the most difficult schedule. Like, it's not even close, y'all. Look at us way down there on our own little island. Absolute insanity. I know there was a lot of info thrown at you all here, but what are your honest thoughts on all of this so far? How do you like our schedule? What do you think of it? What game or games will you definitely be going to? Let me know in the comments down below and let's talk about it. And with all of this being said, what will the Chiefs record be and will we make the playoffs? Well, if you base it purely on history, we will have a winning record and more than likely will make the playoffs. I mean, since Andy Reid has come to KC and taken over, we've never had a losing season, and the closest we got to that was in 2014, where we went 9-7. But since 2015, the Chiefs have won at least 10 games, and since 2018, when Patrick Mahomes took the helm, we have a regular season record of 50 wins and 15 losses. And if I remember right, at least a couple of those losses happened while Mahomes was injured. Why do I say Mahomes? I don't know. In 2018 and 2019, the Chiefs went 12-4. In 2020, they went 14-2. And last season, they went 12-5. Mahomes is 21-3 against the AFC West in his career, and the Chiefs have won the division 6 years in a row. So I throw all of this out there because history is on our side, y'all. Also on our side, worth mentioning, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce steering the ship, and I believe we will make the playoffs again this year and still could very well end up winning the division. Question is, will we get the number 1 seed? I don't know, because our season is absolutely bananas. But let's talk about predictions for this season and just what some others are thinking. Matt Verderame from Arrowhead Addict has the Chiefs going 12-5. Matt Lane from Kansas City Sports Network says the Chiefs win the division and go about 11-6. Craig Stout says 12-5, and BJ Kissel also says 12-5. Then you have Charles Goldman from Chiefs Wire saying the Chiefs are going to go 14-3 with no losses in the opening 5 games. And then my prediction, the Chiefs go 12-5 or 11-6, but still make the playoffs. I have them losing to the Chargers once, possibly losing to the Bucks, the Bills, the Bengals, and the Broncos once as well. This is a tough one for me because a lot of these games are a complete toss-up and could go either way. I could see the Chiefs winning a lot of these and then losing to a couple teams we just absolutely don't expect us to lose to. So yeah, our division is so stacked that it's honestly very hard to predict, and I am no expert. I am just a man with no hair and a beard recording videos in my basement for you all. Let me know your thoughts. What are the Chiefs going to do? What's our record going to be? Also, I'll post a screenshot here, but I just made a poll asking you all what you think the Chiefs' end of season record will be on my YouTube community page. So make sure to go and vote, and we will take a look at that here soon and see what the results are. And then let's take a moment to look at some comments from you all yesterday. There's some gold ones in here and worth talking about. Thomas Francisco says, bring back Elvis Gerback. And the homie Dave replied, you trying to get shot? Nah, man, I don't know what Gerback is up to these days, but let's just leave that man completely alone. Daryl Slaughter Jr. says, hey, big dog, it was cool meeting you. Keep doing what you do, bro. Motivation from photographer to photographer. P.S. That Chipotle hit different today. So yeah, I was just chilling at Chipotle in Lee Summit off 291 yesterday about to eat, and Daryl walks in with his family, and he was like, my man, I watch your channel every single day, dabbed me up, and then went back about his business. But my friend looked at me and was like, does this happen often? And the honest answer is no, not really. But it was pretty cool, to be honest. So good meeting you, bro. Until next time. And then regarding Alex Smith mentoring Patrick Mahomes, Paul Klein says, I think that Alex Smith mentoring Patrick was a reflection of the culture and leadership within the coaching staff. I think that alone was fantastic for Mahomes. Yeah, I think the Chiefs do have a great culture, in spite of what some reports may say about Bieniemy and them, but the Chiefs have been winning. They have been doing well, and everybody wants to play for them for a reason. Mr. Goodwrench says, good job with the channel, Cole. You're my go-to guy for the latest Chiefs news. Hi to all in the Chiefs kingdom from Nova Scotia, Canada. What's up, Mr. Goodwrench? That's awesome, bro. Thank you for that. I'm honored. That is wonderful. Rolled LOL says, I don't make comments much, but I just wanted to tell you that me and my dad, my father, my pops, watch your vids daily and appreciate the work you put into these. We're always waiting for your new vid. We enjoy your content. Keep it up. Go Chiefs. Go Chiefs, baby. I love that. I appreciate it. What's up, father and son duo? Hope y'all have a fantastic freaking day. Tyler Prince says, LMAO, I am a huge F1 fan, so watching Martin Brundle walk around looking for Mahomes and getting the wrong guy just made me die in my chair. Well, if you are dead in your chair, how are you commenting on my video? Just kidding. But that was freaking hilarious, man. The reporter did not know who Mahomes was because he didn't even know that was not Mahomes until they radioed him in his ear and said, yo, this is the wrong guy. I mean, homie literally had no clue, which I found complete gold and worth covering for you all yesterday. Glad you enjoyed it. Wow Football says, love from Nigeria. I love your channel. Wow, man, shout out to Nigeria. My question is, do you know Mr. Hassan, our once tight end turned defensive end? Do you know that man? If so, let me know. And can we get an interview with this man? Because I want to know what the Chiefs are thinking about putting him on the defensive side of the ball. From there, Rook says, Dustin Crum is definitely making the roster. Reed is the type of man to never leave a crumb behind. And this comment won the day because that was hilarious. Big Red does indeed love his food. That is for sure. So make sure to leave a comment below to potentially be featured in an upcoming video like this. Sub for more daily news. And Check out this video here from yesterday where I talk about some interesting UDFA roster changes, Josh Allen's friendship with Mahomes, and much more. And until next time, let's go. How about those